Live. I hope you're all well and enjoying some lovely weather again. Thank you so much for joining me on your Friday lunchtime. I have got an amazing show for you. So today we are looking at creating premium projects, but with budget bargains. That is such a mouthful, and we tried to think of an easier way of saying it, but basically we are looking at some really inexpensive products for you, whether you've got £1.49 is my lowest price item, okay? So if you've got a couple of pounds spare this month, or if you've got up to, I think my highest priced item is only £12.99 across the whole show. So whatever your budget this month, you are going to be able to pick up a bargain from CraftStash. And I want to inspire you and show you what you can be doing it with it. So very often we'll look at a product and we'll think, okay, I can die cut that. But what else can you do with it? Can you maybe emboss that die? Can you take a stencil and emboss that? There's lots of other ways of using products more than just one way. Now, so there's lots and lots to show you. I've actually got 3 separate bundles. I've got a brand new product to show you. I've got some fantastic magazine kits to show you. And then I've got my own picks as well that are really, really inexpensive but have massive crafting potential. Okay, so stay tuned for all of those. If you want to be commenting and in with a chance of winning, we have a prize. Now, this prize is over £140 worth. We are looking at magazine kits today. Now, if you've ever seen these on CraftStash, they are huge. So what's involved is, of course, your magazine, usually written and put together by your favourite companies, and then they include their own exclusive products that help you to craft. So that might be stencils, dies, stamps, things like that. I've got a whole bundle of those magazine kits here to show you, but you could be in with a chance of winning some of those. So just comment down below. It doesn't matter what you're commenting on. So maybe tell me where you are, where you're from, what you've been crafting this week would be really good. I find it really difficult to read the comments when I don't have a guest and to talk back with you. I'll try and answer some. I'll have a look at them in a minute coming in. But what I do always do is go back through them afterwards. So please leave me some comments and let me know what you're up to. So we've got an exciting week as well. I need to tell you very quickly, 9 a.m. this morning we did launch a brand new colour speckled egg from Tim Holtz. Okay, this one, it's selling really, really quickly. So if you wanted this, if you were waiting for it, go online and grab it now while you can. Whilst you're there as well, check out that bargains page. So it's always under bargains, and then there's this week's CraftWorld Live. Over there you'll find everything I'm talking about here, because it's going to be such a busy hour. I have lots of products to talk to you about, but like I say, these are all the really low price products. Check out that bargain section and you'll find everything I'm talking about there. As you can see, scrolling across the bottom, a lot of the key points for today I've got there, so I don't forget them as well as you. But we have got some exciting things happening this week. So you can now pre-order that Tonic Studios magazine kit. We're talking about magazine kits. We don't have the Tonic one here today that I can show you because it's on pre-order, but I can show you what sort of thing you can expect to get when you buy a magazine kit. There's a lot in it for a really good price. Pre-order that now. That's number 12, so make sure you grab that. Always filled with lots of goodies. But we've also got CraftWorld has some really exciting things happening this week. I'm going to show you some products and demonstrations really quickly in a moment, but I need to tell you we have got, so the lovely Hayley West, you may have seen Hayley on Hochanda before. She is going to be joining CraftWorld as well, which we're really, really excited about. Now, she is joining on Wednesday, so 1 o'clock Wednesday. Make sure you join in, or tune in. Either way, tune or join. So you can join us at 1 o'clock, and she will be demonstrating the machine she absolutely loves. So you can catch that there, the silhouette. So 1 o'clock, ask her any questions live as well. And she will be doing this hopefully regularly for us over on CraftWorld. Now, also, you can join me at the new time as well as Fridays at 1 o'clock. Tuesday at 4 o'clock, I'm going to be doing a short, snappy live video, so a little bit shorter than the hour that we usually do here, and that's going to be our What's Hot. So really, really exciting. I can't wait to get started with that. We're starting in July because, of course, Christmas begins in July for crafters. I mean, we're only just getting to grips with summer, and we need to be be thinking about Christmas. But that's true. We need to get our cards made, don't we? So join me Tuesday as well at 4 o'clock. I'll remind you of all this at the end. Essentially, just make sure you're commenting at the bottom. Make sure you're in with the chance of winning this prize. Now, I have the old-fashioned phone where I've got all of your comments coming through. So let me just, you've got lots already. So many people joining us. So, hello. So we have Teresa Trump, Karen Cass, Sue Lloyd, Kat Appleton, Elaine Johnson. Hello to all of you. Thank you. Oh, we've got Kenny from Illinois, miles away. Miles away. That's fantastic. Over the waters there. We've got Julie Dobson. We've got Lorraine Rhodes, Lynn Kirk. We've got Jean Baker, Jules Gordon, Vix Randall. Thank you so much, everybody, for commenting. I would love to sit and read out everybody's name, but we wouldn't have a show, and I know you want to see the demonstrating as well as the products. So I will keep an eye on these as best I can throughout the hour. I cannot wait. We are in discussion about when we can get back in a proper studio and when we can start having guests sat beside me, talking to me, doing the demonstrations, so I can then be talking to you a little bit more on the comments when we get there. Hopefully only a few more weeks until we're there. So the first thing I want to show you today, part of these budget products that you can make amazing projects with, is a brand new collection. So if we just have a look down here, we are looking at a collection from Creative. So this Creative brand is, as if you've seen on CraftStash before, it's actually a brand where we don't put too much into the packaging or the fiddly little bits that up the price. We want to keep these really, really affordable for you, but still be beautiful, beautiful projects. Now, if you saw my little sneak peek earlier in the week on my social media, I was using these products to make some projects, and they are absolutely beautiful. So let me whiz you through these first of all, and I've got some examples to show you what we can make. Now, these are such a good price. These dies, bear in mind there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dies in this one set here. These are coming in at $7.99. Now, how often do you get a full die set that can make you a card base there? So design your card bases and all your embellishments for that price. Okay, $7.99, amazing. So we've got the fine lines. These are all part of the On the Border collection. So we've got the circles there. We then have, because I've been playing with these, we've got things sticking because, of course, I've got tape exposed and such. So we have then got the music ones as well. Now, these are beautiful. I'm going to be demonstrating this first very shortly. Okay, so that along with some of my budget picks as well. We have the flowers. So as you can see there, you've got your border and then you have your embellishments. Now, what the idea with these, if I bring these a bit closer, hopefully you can see there that they're actually creating a beautiful fine border for you. This is the idea. They're a fine line set. So we're not just looking at bulky detail. We are looking at very delicate detail. You see that we've got the stars, something for the boys there, I think. Maybe if somebody loves, maybe they love performing as well. That's absolutely perfect. We have hearts as well. All of these die sets, they are $7.99 each, and that is an amazing bargain. So, like I say, if you've got just £10 spare this month, you can grab yourself one of these, maybe some cardstock, maybe an element from my pick that I'm going to show you later. Like I say, I've got something for $1.49, $2.49, $2.69 coming up in there as well. So mix and match these products together. They're wonderful. So then we've then got the geometry as well. So they're the dies. Let me just show you here. I've got so much to show you today. I've got little piles everywhere. This is one that I was working on and I posted a sneak peek. This is done with the very first one I showed you, the circles. As you can see here. So I used this die to create this card. Now, I love rainbow colours, and this was a little bit of one of those cards where you have to love the process, because it did take a long time for me to die cut all of those pieces. So that's using the excess there. This is the flowers. So hopefully you can see there. You've got the green line is the fine line, and the watercolour is just some pens or some pencils you may have at home to colour in. Now, actually, this die, if I show you the versatility, is a square. Okay, so you cut it out as a square, but if you just snip at the corners and bring this width down a little bit, you've then got a rectangle. Okay, so you've got that versatility with them. They are so easy to do. Now this die actually is in one of my picks. Look at this, using the excess. So this came from, I wonder if I've got it here. I've got another card here. So I created this card first with the white heart border. This wood grain paper here as well. That's in my picks. Look out for that in a moment. But we've got here some beautiful wood grain paper, but the frame is stunning, isn't it? I think that's really lovely for a masculine card, a really modern card. But once I created this one, I then had the excess white cardstock to create this one where I've got the teal placed underneath. Look how much versatility are these cards giving you. Aren't they just amazing? This is one that I created with those stars that we were looking at, and I said brilliant for your masculine projects. A lot of comments were made on the CraftStash page earlier this week when we posted a photo of this about the mirror effect. This is a holographic mirror card, okay? I believe it's from Hunky-Dory, so most likely loads of Hunky-Dory products on the CraftStash website. Have a look for that because it really works well with these. And in the background, I've got some Tim Holtz Distress inks and oxides there mixed together, water splashed on for that watercolour look. Everything there is then on CraftStash. And then we have these circles again. Can you tell I really liked the circles? Just from gold, snipped into them, layered them around with some pattern paper, floral papers. Again, the papers are coming up, but I believe they've sold out, so I won't talk about them too much, but I'll tell you what they are in a moment. Just snipped into some of these flowers and tucked those circles behind. In that beautiful mirror card, that gold, how elegant does that look? It looks as if they've been embossed on there. They're stunning. And this is one that I haven't quite finished yet because I just can't stop making. I've used the excess. So this first card that I did with all the different colour circles that I needed to cut out, of course I then had the frames from the circles in the different colours. So I saved those as well, and I've glued them around the edge of my panel, snipped the edges so they're nice and neat, and I've taken some watercolour. You know I love my watercolours, my pens, my paints and things, and just gone in, just really using primary colours to keep it simple. And I just need to put a sentiment in there. We've got some amazing sentiments coming up, sentiment stamps as well that are really, really inexpensive. So they are the dies. Okay, now pop those to the side quickly because the next thing is stencils. Brand new, we've got the On the Borders collection. These are the stencils. We've got geometry ones. They are amazing. Now, if you've seen stenciling before or used a stencil, you've probably used it in one way. You've probably inked through it and thought that's it. Stencils can be used for so much more. So you can ink through these with different colours as well. You can use them in your die cutting machines with a rubber mat. I'll be showing you that later. And you can emboss. So you can then have the embossed patterns. Look at these. We've got 1, 2, 3 and 4 in the geometry patterns. I love that egg shape as well, or that oval shape. Look at that. You can also be using these with a texture paste as well, if you have texture paste at home or anything like that, crackle pastes and things, to get some really fun looks. Let's just have a look at a couple of cards that I've created using these stencils. So look there, just mixing your colours, blending your colours through the stencil. They just work beautifully. This is what I mean. Creative is a brand developed by CraftStash, so we can give you affordable products that work. I mean, you don't have to spend a fortune. You really don't. They're just beautiful. Look at this. If I hold this in the right light, can you see that embossed background? That is stunning. That actually looks clearer to the eye than I can see through the screen. That is absolutely amazing. You may have stencils at home already, but do you have these modern ones? I had another one here. Oh, there we go. I didn't pick it up. And then there's this one as well. Again, mixing those colours through the stencil. You don't have to stencil with just one colour. There's lots more you can do as well, but I will be showing you this later. I wonder if this hour is going to overrun again. The last 2 weeks we have gone past 2 p.m. Very quickly, we have some new stamps for you as well from the creative range, and these ones are beautiful, aren't they? So we have got mindfulness stamp set 1 and set 2. They are amazing. So really fun and funky sentiments, things that are really relevant right now. So we've got things like I will catch you if you fall. Take time for others. Be kind to everyone you meet. Love this life. You only live once. Really unusual things, but then you have your generic sayings. Love and hugs. You are my sunshine. Birthday wishes. Follow your dreams. Things like that. 2 sets to choose from. Now the icons on there, you may notice we've got music notes and flowers on this one. We've got hearts and stars on this one. They tie in perfectly with those fine line dies. So they all work together. Now the stamps are only $6.99. Amazing. Fantastic, fantastic price. Now, talking about stamps, I have to show you something else as well. Do you recall our charity stamps? We bought out 5 sets towards the beginning of the lockdown and everything that was going on. We hurried to bring you these. They are amazing. And we have sold hundreds and hundreds so far already. Thank you so much to everyone who has supported the NHS Foundation charity by buying these. All the profits of these are going to charity. We still have some left. So what we've done is we have brought down the price. So with these, you can now buy 2 for £11.98. We are still giving all those profits to charity at the moment. But of course, we understand that we are, hopefully as a country, we're getting on top of this pandemic. And these things, I mean, they've got beautiful sayings in them as we read through, let's just say. So in a world where you can be anything, be kind. Peaceful mind, grateful heart. Happiness blooms from within. If your goals don't scare you, they are not big enough. So we have things like that. We have some that are more relevant to our key workers and thanking people for being absolutely awesome. We have some that will help people through tough times as well. It's named Tough Times. That's quite convenient. We also have our NHS Rainbow, which of course for children to colour in and things is absolutely perfect to use as well. But like I say, these are now on offer. We have raised £2,000. I nearly forgot the amount then. £2,000 for charity so far. Please keep supporting us in this way by purchasing the last few that we have left of these. So it's 2 for £11.98. I'll give you another quick peek at those later on. Now, bargain buys. You cannot get more bargain than these. Okay, I absolutely love these. I'm going to quickly flip through and then I'm going to do a demonstration for you because I want to get into that really quickly. So we have magazine kits. We'll be looking at these after my first demonstration, but I need to mention them to you because I know some of these are selling out really quickly, so make sure you're grabbing them. These are priced from $9.99 for the Ultra New. We get a die, a stamp set, the layering stamp set and the stencil in there, papers and the magazine, $9.99. We have Joanna Sheen there, again $9.99. You are getting in here a die, a stencil, a stamp set, so you can see the theme that I'm going through. Hunky-Dory, that is heavy. There's a lot in there again. I know you get a full foiled topper pack in there. That's $12.99. So these are our most expensive ones. $12.99. I mean, that's a little bit of my budget for the month, and imagine how much you are getting. So much. So we have got as well creative stamping. We've got a set there, and then we have lastly at the back here that I will show you later. Look, I've got so much. It's all flying. And then we have the Wallace and Gromit set as well. Wallace and Gromit it's reduced. So is creative stamping actually. It's reduced down to, I've got to check my notes here because there's so many prices, $5.49. Is that right? $5.49 for all of this. You've got stamps, 2 stamp sets in there, embossing folders, toppers. I think it might be. And the creative stamping set with 2 large A4 stamps is $6.49. Check that while I'm demonstrating because that is an amazing price. So I am going to bring in now for you some of my picks, and I will go through these in more detail. But we are talking, like I say, about amazing projects that look professional, but using budget products. Okay, so your bargain buys, how much can you get out of them? I'm seeing all of your comments coming through and I really want to sit and read them, but I will do afterwards, I promise. So what I'm going to be doing for this one is I'm actually going to be coming back to, where have I put them? My new, can anyone see? Can you see? They're right in front of me. They were right in front of me. I had my dies. Is it funny? Oh no, they haven't. I haven't lost them. They're over here. This is what I want. I've got so much here and they're all absolute bargains. So I promised you I was going to start with the fine line die set. So this one is beautiful. Let me just take it out of the packaging so you can see. What we're getting in this one is your outer die. So if you're new to crafting, well, whether you're new or you've been doing it for many years, things like these square dies, perfectly square basic dies, are essentials. They're your staples, aren't they? They create your card bases, they create your apertures, your frames, they cut things out beautifully, all your matting and layering. So we have one of those in there. We have another one as well sitting in the middle of this square too. So they are really handy. But in the centre of those two, always when you're taking your, I need to tell you this as a tip, when you're taking your dies off of your backing, don't bend the die, bend the paper, okay? Because if you bend the die, of course, you may find it's not cutting properly. You don't want to do that. Always bend the backing card and they'll pop off. So this one in the centre, you can use it with those frames to cut out your frame, or you can use it on its own and it cuts out the most beautiful little peek through. I'm going to do that live for you. I don't usually do too much die cutting live because I think it's not very interesting for you to actually see, but I'm going to do this one because I just love the effect when you pop the die out. So let me just tack this down. I'm going to take a pair of scissors and whiz this a little bit shorter. There we go. So this is part of the brand new collection launched today. I'm just going to bring in my die cutting machine, okay, and make sure I've got the right. I've been doing lots of crafting this morning and that's involved embossing and things as well. So I want to make sure I've got my plates correct. Yes, I have. I'm just going to pop that in. Now I always pop it in with the die facing upwards. So the die is on the base, the cutting edge is facing upwards into the cardstock. And then pop that in. Now I will measure this for you in a moment and find out how large those two squares are. They will easily go through, I believe. I better check that because sometimes my guess isn't always perfect. I believe they'll go through your what I call half-size die cutting machines. Now because this is a perfect square, I always turn it 90 degrees and pop it in again. That's a habit I've got into. It doesn't take a few more seconds, but it's well worth doing just to make sure you get everything cut, because what often happens is you'll find as your rollers go over, let me just explain this for you. It's never the die, it's usually just the way that it's being die cut. As your roller comes, say this CraftStash glue is my roller, over here, okay, when it's just got these two ends to concentrate on, there's a lot of pressure that can go through those two ends. But as we come over this bit, that pressure has to be dispersed evenly across all of this. And what often happens is the pressure has to lessen to get across all of it, and the same at the top here as it comes through. So what you need to do is just turn your die 90 degrees and then the same again. So you'll then get all the pressure on the two ends, and that will help you get a perfect cut all the way round. What you can also do, if you've got a die that's small enough and a big enough cutting plate, is put it diagonally if you have a perfect square, and then you get quite a bit of concentration on the die as it goes through. I hope that makes sense for everybody. Let me just measure this square so we can find out how big your card's going to be with this. I've got a cutting mat here with measurements on. This is around about 5 inches by 5 inches. So if you have your 6-inch cutting machines, now I still have my old Cuttlebug, would you believe? But if you have something like the smaller Big Shot, things like that, absolutely fine. Now what I love about these dies, I was talking about quality with this brand, okay? So not only do we have so much versatility with what you can make with them, look at the quality. So that has cut beautifully. Everything's popped out. I haven't had to use a pokey tool for that at all. Nothing's stuck in there. That to me is essential. Okay, then look at this. I can just use my fingers and pop most of these pieces out. That's cut absolutely beautifully. And that is a stunning musical frame. I'm just going to use my pokey tool for the smaller pieces. This is a craft cardstock. Now, craft cardstock is notoriously quite thick, isn't it? It's quite heavyweight. So, and you can see this is cut really, really well through it with those two passes just by turning my die. So look at that. Isn't that just a little bit in the corner? So that is a gorgeous musical frame. I love that. I think that's absolutely beautiful. Now what I'm going to do is just show you. In fact, I've got one already cut. I did take the center square from the die set and I cut it out. And can you see the color difference there? The way I got that color difference, I don't know if it's in stock anymore, but I did use my Distress Oxide, my speckled egg. We only had this in, so we announced 9 o'clock this morning that we had it in, and it's been absolutely flying. So please make sure you grab that. If you wanted it, go and have a look. So thank you, Angela, for asking the size of the dies. If you do have questions, I know I can't see the comments very easily whilst I'm on my own. I have the lovely Maria. She is checking all the comments. She's answering what she can for me, and then she is sending me through any others that she can't answer that I need to tell everybody, or if it's something really interesting. So please do ask away any questions you want to know, particularly about these products. I mean, I don't really want to be telling you what I had for breakfast because it's not very interesting, but anything craft wise, by all means. So you can see I just added a little bit of speckled egg to that craft, so really lightened that colour up. The next thing I'm going to bring in is a product. Now, I think this may have sold out. Earlier it was saying it was out of stock, but there are other styles from the same brand online at this amazing price. So this paper pad, this is a 7 by 7 inch paper pad from the Paper Boutique. That's gone a little bit dark, hasn't it? I'm just going to brighten this up just a little bit because it seems to have gone a little bit dark there. I hope everyone can see that okay. Let me know if not. So this paper pad is only £4.24. £4.24, and that's for 36 sheets. Let me show you some of the designs. I don't want to show you too much. Like I say, I think it may be out of stock. Hopefully we can get some more in. These are absolutely stunning. Aren't they beautiful? So I have taken a small snippet of one of these. These are that page. That's the one I've used on my card. These are the sort of papers that you are going to be using for every occasion. But not only that, these are the sort of papers you can fussy cut from as well, because you've got those beautiful flowers. So this is part of my own picks for my premium projects with your really low price bargains. Okay, I keep forgetting what we called it in the end. There was a little catchphrase, but it's just got too confusing. Really, really good quality products at really low prices. That will do. So I have cut one of those paper panels using that die. So this will sit perfectly inside here. So using the smaller square from the die set, I cut this out. Then my musical notes will fit perfectly over the top. So I'm just going to glue those on. I've got some more of my CraftStash glue, which I know I mentioned last week I'd run out of. There are lots of different glues on the website, but this one is absolutely my favourite. So just place that down and make sure it's central before I glue it. So not pressing it down yet. That looks about right. There we go. Press that down. So that's going to sit in the centre. Now what I could have done is I could have taken this die, cut myself an aperture all the way through to the card, put backing paper in there if I wanted to, or stamped a message maybe. Lots and lots of different ideas that you can be doing with this, but instead I'm going to keep it there, and I'm going to raise this up using foam tape. This is another essential. If you go onto the adhesive section on CraftStash, you'll have the glues there, which I love. You'll also have all your foam tapes. I also really love finger lift tape as well for my flat double-sided tapes. They are all there in one place for you, so make sure you check that out. Now while I'm just sticking these edges down, I need to remind you about CraftWorld. Some of you, hello, if you're watching over on CraftWorld, you may be on CraftWorld, but you may be on Facebook. You can watch either way, and you can also catch up on YouTube later as well. So there's lots of different platforms that we are streaming through. It's really exciting. CraftWorld is getting bigger and bigger, and we have another new family member joining us this week. So Hayley West, who you'll have seen presenting on Hochanda, she is joining us on Wednesday for live. Now I believe she's using her silhouette. She absolutely loves the cutting machines. She is going to be doing an hour-long demonstration, answering questions and things like that for you. So that's live Wednesday at 1 o'clock if you want to join Hayley there. there and welcome her to the family. But if you pop over to CraftWorld, please don't do it now because I'll be offended. Don't leave me now, but at the end of this hour, if you want to pop over to CraftWorld, whether you've joined before or not, please come and join us and say hello, have a chat in the forums, look at some of the inspiration that's over there. But also there's going to be a competition. Now I'll tell you more at the end. I'm just concentrating while I'm sticking this down, trying to get it straight. Lift this one up a little bit. It's straight enough, isn't it? Look at that. With that drop shadow, how beautiful is that die? I love that because we've got the foam tape, we've got that drop shadow underneath. It looks so dimensional. I really hope you're loving this as much as me. I'm just going to put my comments back on my phone because I could see them and now they've gone. There we go. I've got you all back. There we go. Isn't that gorgeous? So the next stage I'm bringing in, this is my top bargain, okay, from Creative Expressions. I need a drum roll for this. £1.49. Can you believe it? £1.49 for all this chipboard. And of course the beauty of, it's not even chipboard, it's MDF, it's actual wood. You get that beautiful smell. Yep. That, you know, because it's been like cut with the lasers and it's sort of burnt the wood as it's gone round, it smells amazing. But also when you pop these pieces out, you then have yourself a stencil. Now I'm going to show you later with the new creative stencils, everything you can do with stencils. But if you can imagine, you can emboss these shapes then into cardstock. You can be inking through them if you want to, spritzing. You can be just drawing into them to create your own designs. There's so much you can do with them. Now I'm going to take these pieces all out so you can see what you're left with. And this is probably, come on, tip out, there we go. So special, that one says. Let me see that. Beautiful, isn't it? So special. So this is your waste. This is wood. Okay, you're not going to be throwing that out. As crafters, we know you're going to be using that over and over again. So make sure you do. That is beautiful. So for £1.49, you're going to get all three of these mannequins. And then you're so special as well. Now, if you're anything like me, usually you'll only want to be putting one, two or three pieces on a card at once, but at that price I would stock up. I'd buy 10 of these, honestly, but there is more. So Creative Expressions has lots and lots of MDF on CraftStash, all at this ridiculously low price, and I've never noticed before how inexpensive they are, so please do check those out. So I'm going to put some of that onto my card. Now what I did do is I did take my speckled egg and I took, I think it's this one. Yes, I did ink the MDF. Now if I bring that really close for you so you can see, hopefully you can see all that, the wood grain peeks through because it's not perfectly smooth. I didn't use a foam blender for this because I thought the foam blender might press into the groove. So I actually used direct from the pad onto there and just heat set it in there. So with that then I've kept some of the grain showing through where the ink hasn't gone into it. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? And that worked really well with my blue. But then when I put it on, this is where I get crafty and start experimenting. I thought, do you know what, actually that looks beautiful. If that was on a different coloured paper, that would really stand out stunningly, wouldn't it? But because I am going on to my blue paper, I think actually the MDF as it is, just like that, works really well, really beautifully. And I could use 2 or 3 of these if I wanted to. But I think just one on a card, maybe with that sentiment there, looks lovely, really pretty. And that's so easy, so little effort has gone into me popping these out, putting them on for a really professional finish. Now I'm also going to take from that paper pad, and I know there's lots of other paper pads from Paper Boutique online there, all at this amazing price, which was just £4.24 for 36 pages, I think it was. But I fussy cut some flowers to pop into the corner just by layering up around that die cut. So I'm going to use my wet glue, just pop those down, pop my MDF down, and then we've got a really professional finish card. But it does look absolutely beautiful for such little cost, and you've got so much more left over for other craft projects. Now, I could work out probably just about the cost of this per card, but we know you're going to make different cards each time, so that's not really going to work, is it? Just pop this over the corner there. I love this clock here, so I don't want to be covering that up. A little bit of wet glue, just dabbing it on the back. And this CraftStash glue is so good. It does hold the wood as well. I would keep wanting to say chipboard, but it's not. It's actually MDF, which is amazing. Look at that. So there's that card with all the detail, and that has come so inexpensively. So let me just recap. So the brand new dies, so the new dies are $7.99 for the sets, and I've only used 2 of the dies from this set. I hand cut around the edge. I didn't use any of the musical notes. Beautiful. I used the paper pack for the fussy cutting and the background. That is just $4.24, and then I used my chipboard as well. Oh, chipboard, it's not chipboard, it's MDF. When will I get used to that? And that is just £1.49. That's amazing prices to create that card, and I've still got the die I can use forever and ever and ever. I've got loads and loads of those 36 pages of papers left, and I've got still some of my MDF there. I said MDF this time. I've still got some of that there I can use. So, I mean, if you scour the site, you can find some real bargains. So what else have I got here that's really, really great for creating professional projects, but at the lowest price possible? Let me pop those to the side. So I've got 3 more products here that I wanted to show you. The first one is this. It's Crafter's Companion stamp set. Now, the reason I picked this out, because as you can see, it's got 9 pieces in it, and it's not just a floral stamp. We've also got, in fact, let me open this up and show you, because it does come in its own wallet as well. We've also got, that doesn't help you at all, does it? Let me get a piece of white paper. How's that? We've also got some sentiments, lots of sentiments, but this is not only just any old stamp set. This is a decoupage stamp set, so you can layer up, so you can re-stamp these elements as well. Cut those out, layer them up, lift up your image, create a dimensional stamped image. So there's 9 stamps in total, and I absolutely love these fonts as well. The price of this, would you believe, £4.49. £4.49 for all these 9 stamps, and they are absolutely stunning. I did show you a little sneak peek earlier of a card that I made using this stamp set. Isn't that just beautiful? And that's using the brand new stencils as well. So that's, I mean, it's beautiful. That's just stamped once. I haven't even layered that. Stamped it from black, cut it out. That's all I did. I was in a hurry. I needed a quick card. That was perfect. Does that look like a card that you've bought the product for less than a £5? Probably not. I hope not anyway. So I love this so much. So let me show you a couple of techniques that we can do with this to get the most out of them. So I'm going to bring in a large acrylic block. Now this goes for lots of different stamps as well. If you're having a look online, you can see I use my block for lots of colouring in on. If you're looking online at the stamps, particularly floral sprays like this, these are so versatile because of course you can stamp on the edge and do little techniques like that. Now I do have somewhere here, which of course I've lost because I'm losing everything today. I did have a little cutout of the floral bit. I need to find it. It's here somewhere. Oh no, I can't do my technique without it. I'm hoping it's just going to appear while I'm talking to you. So I had this already stamped and cut out. Oh, I've found it. Phew, it's there. Okay, so I've stamped it once, cut round it. That took me maybe 5 minutes to cut round it. I did go over this with, you need something like Mod Podge or Glossy Accents. Okay, give it a coating and you can reuse this over and over again. Can you see that gloss on it? Not going to use it on a card, it's just a tool, but that just protects it because it's only paper. It means you can wipe it clean a little bit and reuse it over and over again. Okay, so there's a little tip for you. Do this with most of your large image stamps and you've immediately got masks that you can reuse. So let me show you how to reuse that. Now, did you see on CraftWorld earlier this week, we had John Next Door on Wednesday and he did a fantastic stamping masterclass and he did some masking with like your, can't say it, the notes, the sticky notes that you get. He did a masterclass with those and it was so informative. I really thoroughly enjoyed that. And John has just joined CraftWorld as well as Hayley I was talking about earlier. And we are going to have so much fun over there. So many tutorials and things that you can watch. So once you've stamped that, now with this floral, I can go round in a circle. I can do a big wreath. Obviously, I'd have to start down the bottom. If you're doing a larger card, you could do a wreath. You could do a half wreath, so it's just coming on to maybe a 7x7 or 8x8 card and have it just like this, so just like an archway. I want to create a border, okay? So what I'm going to do is just use this and place it over my stamped image there. Just place it over. Don't need to be too precise, just roughly. You can also use a little bit of tack if you want to just make sure that you're not moving it too much. The reason I've not used a stamping platform is because I'm moving around here. I'll use a stamping platform in a minute for my next technique. So I'm now going to bring this along and stamp directly over that bit of paper that I've just used. Made sure that with my Mod Podge I didn't make it too thick, okay, because if you do that you will get some missed spots. And then I'm just going to repeat the other side. Okay, so restamp and come back over this side with my mask in place, going directly over there. And you want to make sure you're really pressing down along the edge of the mask, which I didn't do enough that side. But really press down hard, and you've just extended your stamped image there into one large wreath. Okay, so you can then colour that in if you want to. You can leave it blank, but you can have this as a border. So you could actually, if I trim this up the middle, this is just a scrap piece of paper. I have then got two beautiful borders that I can use for edges of my card. Now, whether I want to keep them together, whether I want to then use them on two different sides of the paper instead, it's entirely up to you. Can you see there's so much you can do? You could cut those out if you wanted to, or maybe just pop that, so that could be the top layer of your card. Then you could have a strip across the center, a piece of ribbon or something. Then you could have another panel of different color cardstock. So there's lots and lots that you can be doing with it. So that's one technique with the stamp. Now I have another technique which I absolutely love, and I need to just wipe. Now I've got everything ready. Let me just get a wet wipe. I don't like to use these, but my cloth, so I'm just going to dab. I'm not rubbing, I'm just dabbing the excess off there. There we go, just quickly, I'll dry that in a moment. So what I'm going to do next is another technique for you. You may have seen this before. I'm going to switch to a stamping platform now. I really want to just show you how much you can really get out of your stamps, okay, so when you're buying things like this. We'll be looking at the magazines in a moment. So stamping platform, bringing this in. Doesn't matter what size you've got as long as your stamp fits onto it. I've got the large Crafter's Companion one. So I've got a piece of watercolour cardstock. This is quite important. So really, just watercolour cardstock. In fact, for this technique, I use my less expensive watercolour cardstock. I've got some really beautiful paper, rather, from CraftStash, which is called Gold Line, which I use for all my painting. But there are some other brands that aren't quite as thick, quite as high a quality, and that's what I'd be using for this technique. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just gently place this down where I want it to be, pick it up with my platform. There we go, so that's on there. I'm going to give my watercolour paper a light spritz, okay, not too much, and just let that start to sit into the paper, soak in. I'm going to take another distress ink, okay, does need to be a water-based ink, okay, because it needs to react with this. Now I've had a question from Rena, I believe. Do I wipe my mask? So yes, sorry, the flower one I didn't. I popped it to the side. I would just use a wet wipe and just wipe the top of it because I haven't treated the underneath of that. So you're talking about, where did I put it? I'm having one of these days, this here. Yes, so I would just use a wet wipe. As long as you've not used Stays On or anything like that. There we go. I would just clean that up like that. And then I'd reuse that over and over again. Okay, so hopefully that's answered that for you. So I've got my Distress ink on here. I've got my damp watercolour paper there. And then I'm going to pop this back the way I had it before, which I think is this way. And I'm going to press this down and hold it down. Usually we just press and we release and we get a beautiful stamped image. For this one, I'm actually going to just hold it for a moment, not for too long. And then I'm going to let the ink seep into that damp cardstock. So pressing all, making sure all over it's getting some ink. There we go. Okay. So then I'm just going to give it a little more of a spritz, a very light spritz, okay? And you'll see that colour start to seep out, okay? Hopefully you can see that. Let me bring it up to the camera. So it's distorting the image slightly and allowing that ink to bleed ever so slightly, okay? Lovely. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave that in place actually. I'm going to heat set that. So just to make it a bit quick, I'm just going to wipe the excess water away from the edges so I don't need to actually soak those up. And then I'm going to put my heat gun on just for a moment. So it won't be for too long. So I don't think you can hear me very well when this is on. So I'll dry it ever so quickly using my Sizzix heat tool. Okay, won't be a sec. There we go. It doesn't need to be bone dry as long as there's no puddles of water left. So I'm then going to use the stamp in exactly the same place on the platform and use my black VersaFine and just stamp that. So we're now looking at putting that detail back into this image and having the brown come through underneath. Line this back up again, but of course it's still in the same place from where you were before, and press this down. Press all over as you did before. And if you do this with different browns, it really does look like it's burnt into wood. It's a beautiful effect. So then we've just got just like tea stained underneath. So the ink has seeped out only where the stamped image is. Okay, so you'll always get a different result every time you do it. You'll always get something different, but it looks as if it's been burnt in. If you do this on craft cardstock, like I say, and with a brown VersaFine, it does look like it's burnt wood. It's an amazing technique. But again, all of this is coming from a £4.49 stamp set. Okay, so you can see how much you can get from just that. Now, I've got a couple of other products to show you. We keep getting really dark with this camera. I don't know why that is. Let me just click a couple of things. One there. Bear with me. I think we're brightened up now. There we go. My camera's got a mind of its own today, and now we're too bright. I don't want you to not be able to see what I'm showing you. So another few of my picks that I just don't have time to run through everything because I've got winners to announce and all sorts. We have got Creative Expressions craft dies. These dies, this fabulous word, is £2.49. It's a beautiful die. Hopefully you saw it earlier. Where did I use it? Because I know I used it on a card. Here we go. So I use it there with gold mirror card. It's beautiful, isn't it? It really, really is absolutely stunning. I wanted to do so much more with this to be able to show you, but I just don't have the time to be able to show you everything. This I've used so much. So I used it on this particular card here, that wood grain paper, but you can also cover not only cardstock, you can cover wood, metal, anything you can put glue to, you can cover this. And the reason I love this, it is only, I've got to remember now, £2.69. Okay, it's from Craft Consortium. The wood grain is amazing, but there's other textures as well. But you get 3 sheets. Look how large they are. They are huge sheets. and you can tear it and you can crumple it and you can do all sorts of techniques from it. So for £2.69, this is one of my top picks. You can die cut it, you can emboss it as well. You can both pressure and heat emboss it. So there's lots you can be doing with those. So that's another one of my picks. I think I've been through all of my own personal picks now, besides, of course, the distress ink. So that's the stamp, the die, and then I had some other things as well, which I have gone. I don't know. I don't know which ones they are. I'll think of them in a moment. Oh, yeah, of course, we had the Steampunk Romance papers, didn't we? And the MDF. So next I want to run you through very quickly before I do some more techniques with stencils. It's going to be an overrun. I'm sorry. Let me just show you what we're getting in each of these, because when it comes to value, and we are talking about value, aren't we? We're talking about value for money, how much bang for your buck you can get with every craft purchase. So today we are looking at magazine kits. You are going to be able to win 3, I think there's 3 for every winner, bundles. So 3 magazine kits. Doesn't mean you're just getting 3 magazines. Let's have a look in this one. Comment below if you want to be in for a chance of winning one of these or a selection of some of these. Okay, so Ultinew, we all know Ultinew, a fantastic craft company, beautiful, beautiful products, very modern usually craft projects, aren't they? Absolutely beautiful. So we're getting the magazine, which include these beautiful, you can see mine's used, beautiful papers in there. And you're getting all the inspiration that you would expect from Ultinew. Absolutely gorgeous. Stamping techniques there. Look, absolutely good. Sarah Gray. Did you see Sarah Gray has also joined CraftWorld? She was on earlier. Was it last week? I think it was. Doing some with Funky Fossil. So all the names there. So we've got a full stamp set, layering stamp set there. Absolutely gorgeous. So it's about A5 in size. We also have Miss You, Thank You, Hello Sweet Friend as sentiments in there. We have the dies to be able to cut out your layered flowers once you've stamped them. That includes the large flower, the leaves, and then this blossom here. We then have stencils, foliage stencils in all different sizes and shapes and directions. So these can curve round wreaths and create borders for you. All that as well as the magazine. That is £9.99. Again, if you're looking, sorry for that noise, if you're looking for a bargain, magazine kits are the way to go. Okay, aren't these just amazing? They're absolutely brilliant. Let me bring you in another one. So let's have a look at creative stamping, because the price has been lowered on this. I'm not sure. I think this is correct. I've written it down, so it should be £6.49. Okay, not just for the magazine. The magazine, of course, has lots and lots of tips and techniques in there, as always. But you've got this beautiful stamp set. Look at these. Aren't they amazing? In fact, I had a card. I'm losing everything today, aren't I? I had a card there. Here it is. Using this stamp set. Can you see the sloth there? Okay, not only that, I mean, this and this, £6.99, you think, wow, that's an amazing price for an A4 stamp set. Shall we throw in another stamp set as well? So then you've got the round the world ones too. They are just absolutely beautiful. Perfect for masculine cards, for anyone thinking of going travelling, because I know we're all dreaming about it at the moment. Build your own beautiful scenes. I love this hot air balloon. I mean, there's so much in this magazine kit, and this is only £6.49. And you could be winning this as well. So that's that. Let's have a look as well at a couple more before I go on to my stencil techniques very quickly. I will be as quick as possible, I promise you, because I know you want to know who the winners are. The Sentimentally Yours from Phil Martin. So we have the magazine, of course. We know Phil is full of great tips and tutorials and things. But then we have the stamp sets, 2 different stamp sets. One that's sentiments and one that's all of your embellishments. Beautiful seaside theme. And then we have the stencil as well. And of course the projects throughout, as you can see from the front cover there with the stamps, the projects all tally up with what you've got, the exclusive stamp set or die set, whatever it may be. So you're always going to be able to use these and get lots of inspiration. I keep doing that. I'm sorry for that noise. It's me scraping on the mat. Very lastly, because there's lots and lots of different magazine kits available, but these are sort of my top picks of them, the ones that really give you so much for the price. Let's let's have a look at this. Hunky-Dory, okay. Now this is huge. So Hunky-Dory is $12.99 for this, okay. Look at this. So we are getting the bird and the floral branch die there. So there's two separate dies. We're getting the stamp set there as well. Hopefully you can see that stamp set. Gorgeous. And of course you've got the stamps that match the die. And then you've got this beautiful embossing folder as well with the all the different florals, both top and bottom. Then you've got the magazine with all the inspiration in as well. Isn't that wonderful? So many projects in there. And then look at this. This actually weighs more than the magazine. Okay, there's so many. I don't actually know whether it says somewhere. It must say somewhere how many. Hang on, let me see. 72 elements within these card kits. So you get in here foiled toppers. Hunky-Dory, of course, are really well known for their foil toppers. We've got in here beautiful inserts, gorgeous inserts. We know Hunky-Dory for those as well. This is adorable scoreable style sort of papers and card stocks in here. They're just beautiful foiled elements as well, card bases. So they really are, there's just so much, it's all falling apart. They really are full kits here. $12.99 for all of this. Dies, stamps, embossing folders, foil toppers, and the magazine for all the inspiration. Make sure you're grabbing those magazine kits, okay? We've got the Tonic Studios magazine kit also on offer now. Let me bring in my stencils for the very last quick demonstrations. So the number 12, the Tonic Studios magazine kit, that is now available for pre-order, so make sure you grab that. Now looking again at what you can possibly do to stretch your stash once you've bought it. Amazing prices, these are only $5.99 each, beautiful designs, but how much can you get from one stencil? So let's just take one of these. I'm going to take the rectangle. Okay, and let me see, what can I be doing this? Now, of course, first of all, you can be inking through it. These are brilliant. They are really good, strong, sturdy stencil. So when you're inking, you can, let me just take a piece of cardstock here. Oops, not that one, because that one fell on the floor. I can't wait till I've got guests with me again. It's going to be so much easier. I might actually make some scents as well. So I'm going to just tape this down. I always tape this down with a low-tack tape there. I'm going to bring in my Distress Oxide. I don't know if anyone can tell me whether it's now sold out. I know they were absolutely flying earlier. I'm also going to take from above you there, I've got pickled raspberry. So let's just do a little bit of blending. And I'm just going to go in small circles, because if you do small circles, you will actually get in all the little gaps and work into this stencil. And these are just so, so beautiful. In fact, just this blue on its own is going to give me a little bit like, I think, like a Wedgwood look. Is it a blue or is it a green? And maybe that's up for discussion perhaps. But what I'm going to do is just do half of the stencil. So really dark at the bottom. Now I'm starting to brush up into the middle and the edge. I'm being very careful at the edges. I mean, I would actually do this on a larger piece of paper and then cut down afterwards. And then I'm going to take a contrasting colour. I've got some winners to announce in a minute, everybody. So just do these techniques, then I will announce the winners for you of those magazine kits. Now, while I'm doing this, I need to let you know at the end of this live, once I've announced the winners, you can then pop over to CraftWorld Live and there will be a competition to win some more prizes, so make sure you join that. We have huge competitions. In fact, I have a prize winner to announce in a moment, and this is who won from last week. So you get a week to enter over on CraftWorld, and it's always announced on the live the following week. So I'll have that winner to announce in a moment. So what I'm doing now is I'm dragging from between the blue to the pink there, and we've got this like beautiful purple in the middle, and I'm not reapplying any more ink now. I'm just gently dragging from one to the other and blending them, switching back from pink to blue until I'm happy that I've got that blend. So I mean, you can see already, because with the mask, I would actually clean the mask with a wet wipe afterwards, but you can see there that beautiful effect that you can get from a stencil. That's just one way of using them. Now, of course, I've got my colour on there, but I'm just going to pop this down the other way, use my tape again, and I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine as another technique to show you. Okay, so let me just snip this edge off. I love that blend. I love those two colours together, aren't they stunning? So I'm just going to pop this into my die cutting machine. Now let me remove these so I can show you again the sandwich that I'm using. So I'm going to take out my bottom plate. You may have a different machine, but this is what I do. I take out my bottom plate. I have 2 rubber mats because usually there's a red mat that goes in here, and I seem to have misplaced my red mat. So with the red mat you would put 1 rubber mat over the top. I have to put 2 because I've lost that red mat, but it's with each machine it'll all be different. All rubber mats are different widths as well, so I can't tell you exactly which to use for your machine, but have a play. So basically what you're trying to do is you're putting your mask, sorry I put that the wrong way around, your mask underneath, your paper on top, your rubber mat on top of that, and what will happen is the rubber mat will press the paper into the stencil. Okay, I'm glad I checked that, otherwise I'd wonder why it didn't work. So flip it round that way. So very similar sandwich to when I'm die cutting with the tool underneath and the paper on top. Now I'm just going to run that through and then back again. And you should be able to feel there's a decent amount of pressure there. It shouldn't be too difficult to run through, because if it is too difficult and you're straining to run that through, then that means there's too much pressure and you could end up actually cracking your paper, and we don't want to do that. So I have got, first of all, there we go, can you see that? We've got the embossing on that side. Now I can then take some ink or something if I want to, and I can just brush over that and I can start picking up some of that colour a little bit more. I've got a piece that I've done already for that, I'll show you in a moment. And then when you remove from this side, we've got a little bit of colour from that, there we go, a little bit of colour from the stencil already, and that has been pressed into the embossing, so the debossing. I hope that's not too bright for you there, and you can see that, you can see the pink. So I then snip around the edge to neaten that up, and that's another way of using your stencils. So if I just show you here, you can then use your ink to pick out your designs, whether it's top or bottom. I've just brushed over some black on grey cardstock there, and it's just touched the tops there. You only need a little bit of ink on your foam blender, and I would use, we have them at CraftStash, the flat foam blenders. They are perfect for these techniques. So there's a couple of things you can be doing with your stencils. So you can be spritzing through them, you can be using your texture paste as well. There's so much you can do. So I'm going to bring you back to me now. You've probably forgotten what I've looked like because I've just been hands down for the whole hour. There's a lot to tell you. So I've told you about the brand new On the Border stamp sets, stamps, dies and stencils. We just saw the stencils. They are beautiful. Please make sure you check those out. We have been through some real bargains today, and hopefully I've given you a few ideas to kind of extend your use of those. So maybe you think, okay, I've only got a £5 this month. That's fine. There's still 2 or 3 products you can put in your basket for that amount. Let me skip now because I do announce the winners at the end. I'm going to come to them then. So a quick question actually before I do the winners from Vix. Which is the best low-tack tape to use? So if you check on CraftStash, they have this beautiful teal low-tack craft tape specifically for this reason, for holding your dies down. So check that out there. I've got lots of questions here actually, so I think I've answered some of them. I will be going back and answering some of these because I did miss them as they were coming through. So we have from the last week's CraftWorld competition, which was to win that Craft Consortium bundle. So we had the At Home in the Wildflowers, the Circus collection, and then small paper pads. So one winner who did go probably from Facebook, I don't know, over to CraftWorld afterwards and enter that competition. And that was, so your username over on CraftWorld is @WelshDragon. I hope you know your real name and you get in touch with us. Message the admin or either on CraftWorld, or if you're on Facebook now, drop us a Facebook message. If we don't hear from you, we will contact you otherwise. and sort out that huge prize. So there is now a new competition. You can pop over there now. Usually there's a question about this live, so just answer that if you've watched the live, and you can be in with winning next week when I tell you. And that's going to be some fantastic magazine kits again, so some of those bundles that I showed you with lots and lots in them. So from earlier this week, we always have the earlier Facebook post goes up early to midweek, mentioning the live and giving you an early chance to win. So the winner from that this week is Claire Dunn. So congratulations to Claire. You have won yourself some beautiful product. We will get that out to you if we can just message you there. From today, we have winners not only from Facebook but also from CraftWorld. We do take comments from both, so don't worry about where you're commenting. So we have, I need my drum roll. This is why I need guests in with me. It won't be much longer. First winner is Pamela Stubbs. Congratulations, Pamela. You are going to win some of those magazine kits. They will be winging their way to you. We have Evelyn Hunt as well. And then lastly, we have on CraftWorld, it's another handle or another username. That's at RachyPlay. So RACHYPLAY. RachyPlay. If that's you, you'll know who you are. Congratulations. So I just need to remind you that we have a deal of the day. Of course, we have our cello bags over there for just $2.99 at the moment. And you can buy two, get one free, or buy three for two. However you like to look at it. That's on there, and don't forget there's a deal of the day every single day. This weekend we've got some amazing prizes on offer and some great giveaways and things on CraftWorld. Make sure you've joined up for the weekend, have a browse, say hello to everybody. We've got Hayley joining us on Wednesday, and on Tuesday at 4 o'clock you're going to be able to join me again, Facebook and on CraftWorld. And we are going to be going through what's hot. That is what's hot for the week. This is going to be a weekly slot letting you know what is brand new, what are my favourite products on CraftStash for the week. So there'll be new things. There might be a few hidden old things that you may not have spotted as well. I'll be doing a few little sort of tricks with them. I won't be demonstrating too much because I'm going to have about 10 products, but these are my picks for the week. Please make sure you join me. That's 4 o'clock on Tuesday. I'd love to have you there commenting with me, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and get crafting. If you've crafted anything after being inspired for this live, please make sure you're tagging CraftStash in it so we can see. I will be able to see it then as well, and we can comment and thank you. So thank you everybody. There's lots to go with. You can watch back on YouTube. And otherwise I will see you next week, so that will be Tuesday at 4 o'clock and then again on Friday at 1 o'clock. So take care everybody and have a lovely weekend. Bye bye.